Everybody ready? All right. So, real quick, since we have a second. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it. You gotta do sock of the day.
Yes.
All right. So this is in honor of President's Day. All right.
Wait, why? Why do you write it down?
I don't know. I just write them down because everybody else writes them
All right.
down. I have no idea.
I should write it down.
No idea.
Okay. So any questions before we get into some examples for the
You're
writing?
good, then.
Yes.
So with regard to the do you know why we don't get President's Day as a holiday?
Yeah, because they actually moved it into our furlough days that we get in December when we're closed down for 2 weeks. That's why. So years and years ago, when the state started having, well, when we all started having issues, and state schools had to start taking furloughs, where they basically closed down in order to save money. A good way to do that, well, and then when everyone sort of survived, they kept furloughs on, because it just gave an opportunity to give people a little bit more of a break and more of the common holiday type seasons. So in this case, several of those holidays, we go to school so that we get more time off in December. Any other questions? All right. So let's jump in and look at some examples, and then we're going to do an activity. So if you want to turn to page 317, let's look at the journalism major with the emphasis in advertising. So if you look at the journalism major with emphasis in advertising, every major will have a section about the GWAR. So does everyone see that section about the GWAR? Okay, so every major has a section like this in their major requirements. So the GWAR requirement for this major states that a score of 8 or above before taking JMS 310W. So that means even with a score of a 10, which is technically a passing score, the student still must take a writing course because it's required by their major. So if the student scored a 10 on the WPA, they have to take JMS 310. If they score an 8, they must take JMS 310. If they scored a 6, what would they do? They would take RWS 280 or 281, depending on if they're domestic or international, before taking the JMS 310W. Any questions on that? So now for most majors, receiving a score of a 10 will allow the student to fulfill the GWAR. This is only for specific majors. So let's look at another example. Let's look at social work major on page 432 under the GWAR requirement. So can somebody tell me what will satisfy the GWAR requirement for a social work major? Score of 10, right. So if they score a 10, they don't have any additional writing courses to take. If they score an 8, they just have one upper division from the approved list to take. And then a 6, of course, the lower division, RWS 280 or 281, and then the upper division. Okay, so now let's look at geography as an example with an emphasis in geographic information science. This is on page 268. So this is an example, if you look under this emphasis and you look under the GWAR, this is an example of a major that if they pass the WPA with a 10, they have satisfied the GWAR, or if they get an 8, then they will need a specific approved upper division writing course to meet the GWAR requirement. So it lists the courses that are approved for that major to take in order to clear the GWAR. So if they get a 10, they've satisfied it. If they get an 8, they don't get to just pick any one for the approved list. They have to pick specific ones for that emphasis. Any questions on that?
Which emphasis are you looking
On the geographic information science? Is that, did I mess up the emphasis? There's no geographic information science? Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so now let's look at another example. Let's look at business management on page 343. So if you look at that WAR requirement, it states that passing the WPA with a 10 or completing the upper division writing course with a C or better. So a score of a 10 will fulfill the WAR for that major. If they score an 8, they need an approved upper division course with a C or better. Any questions on that? Okay. So again, just a reminder, a student can take the WPA twice within their required time frame. So a continuing student, their time frame is earning 60 units or immediately following earning 60 units. And a transfer's timeline is when? Their first semester, yep. And it's recommended again to take the WPA in one of the earlier dates for 2 reasons. One is if they don't get the score they want, they have time to retest. Or you want to take it as early as possible in order to make way for registration timeline. Any questions on that? Okay. So if I can have the TIs help me out. We have an activity here, and I don't know how we want to split it up. So what we have, we're going to have coming around I have 12 boards, however many groups that's going to be. So what we're going to do is we have these boards, and they have majors listed here. They have a score on the WPA. And then what you're going to do, sorry. So each of you will get a packet that corresponds with the board. And so you'll unclip the packet, you'll find the appropriate answer, and you'll just slide it into the paper clip. Okay? And now you know how to look these up, right? Okay. However you guys want to split it up. And then each one gets it. So once we get all this, we'll take about 10 minutes to do the activity, maybe a little less, depending on our progress, and then we'll go over the answers as a group.
Yes? Three.
Wait.
Thank you very much. Okay, ready? Fellas? Computer science. I'll choose the one at the bottom.
Passing. So they just need to pass the test.
Which one?
Computer science.
Water satisfied. Why is it cute? Stop And they get a